need to. Oh no. How,
Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Football with Dad. Hey, Jonah, ready to begin?
Yeah.
All right. So, we're about 27 days away from the kickoff of the 2020-2021 NFL season. We're going to do some predictions, some bold predictions, and some picks here as we get ready to some decisions we got to make as we get ready to draft and make some player movement. There's been a lot of development going on. Injuries are starting to take place. Washington is in a predicament, looking for their running backs. About 3, 4, 5 running backs that's in play. So good luck as you pick your horse. So good luck, Price Love. Okay, so the first segment that we're going to work on here with Marshall Tanaka. Hey, Marshall.
how's it going, Johnny?
Marshall is my direct competitor and friend. We've been playing fantasy football for about 5 years now. We're now more friends than foe. So, Marshall, this is going to be a good segment for me as well because I get to kind of see how you think in terms of how you choose your players. The very first question I want to ask you is who is going to be this year's Christian McCaffrey, Lamar Jackson, or Michael Thomas? Maybe the top 5 players or so that could be potentially number one. Who is that person for you?
Okay, so the what makes this difficult is that this person had jumped up recently because his teammate decided not to play this year, and that's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We made a pretty big stretch on our dynasty draft when we picked him at pick 8, when at the time he was middle of the second round overall. But in light of the circumstance that there's no real strong backup, I think Clyde Edwards Hilaire has the ability to be a top, not only 5 back, but top fantasy player overall. That's not to say that I think he's the best talent. He is a very, very good talent, but I don't believe he's the best or anywhere near Christian McCaffrey. It's just because I believe so much in the Chiefs offense, and who's ever the primary tight end, wide receiver, or running back, I believe that they have the possibility to be number one in that position. Um, what do you feel about Clyde Edwards being considered in the top 5? Is that too high of a pick?
No, top 5. But what I'm asking you, who could potentially be number one?
No. I mean, like, he, well, I believe he can be number one, and who's not in the top 5.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
He
Uh,
he's he's a I see him as a Christian McCaffrey light.
mm-hmm.
There's not many backs who are like him, who's so well equipped to be a receiver. And the concern about him, though, is that he is not very fast and not very big. But when you see him play against top competition like Alabama, he did incredibly well. And in fact, he had one of his best games. So I just feel that if he could do well against Alabama, he could do well versus any NFL team.
Mm-hmm. My pick is a player is on the same team. Um, is a player that was probably number 1, 2, 3 pick a couple of years ago, but because of some off the field issues, he dropped to the second round or even like in the fourth round when he had legal problems for that 1 month or so, and that's Tyreek Hill. The potential is definitely there. All the possibilities, all the signs can lead to Tyreek Hill being number one. There's no reason why he can't be. I think what people do is they're just find reasons to not come down because of you know finding other players as sexier options when you know the top talent guy. He's got the most talent. He's got the best quarterback, and he's in the best situation. And now, with a clean situation and a situation where he's gained trust again from Andy Reid and a full season, he can potentially be number one. Above all. So that's my pick. Tyreek Hill. What do you think, Marshall?
Oh, I'm not really Wait, what pick would you get him at though?
He's going in still like late first round, early second.
I generally don't like that type of receiver who's the. I wouldn't call him a workhorse receiver, even though he's a wide receiver one. He's the kind of guy who catches maybe 5 balls and gets 100 yards and a touchdown. I prefer to pick a more volume guy like a Hopkins. Um, for my wide receiver one at least. I don't like him to be in the first round. I wouldn't even pick up a wide receiver in the first round unless I had to pick up Michael Thomas because of pure value. I feel that in this year, 2020, I feel that in the first 3 rounds, you probably want 2 running backs and probably running back to start off. So if I were to pick up a wide receiver, it definitely wouldn't be Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
For the first round. Second round, I would consider it, but I'd be still looking for that workhorse back.
Yeah. Usually if I can get Tyreek Hill in the second round, middle second round or so, that's where I would take him at. So, I mean, that's where it goes, but that's not where I would take him. Okay. So the next segment is medium to top tier. Who's in the kind of fifth round-esque that could potentially be a round one, round two guy, a la Chris Godwin, who was, in the fourth, fifth round last year and is now in the first, second round, right? So who's that guy for you this year?
Okay, so I can't even believe he's this low. And I think it's because people don't like to take risks in their fantasy drafts. But to me, when it comes to year-long leagues, I think you have to take risks. And that risk that I like is Jonathan Taylor. To me, he is the Saquon Barkley-esque type talent. He's one of the most prestigious runner in all of Wisconsin history. I like his size. I like his speed. He's going at pick 53 and pros, and I just don't see how it could be that low. Now, if it is that low because people think that Marlon Mack will out-touch him, then why not just pick Jonathan Taylor up in the mid-tier rounds, early mid-tier rounds, and then pick Marlon Mack up as a handcuff and see how it goes the first few weeks. But the reason why I like Jonathan Taylor at 53 is, again, at some point in the season before the fantasy playoffs come on, before we hit the fantasy playoffs, I think he'll be the number one starter easily. Not only that, the Colts have a tremendous offensive line, probably top 5 line in the league, and they have a quarterback in Phillip Rivers who can't really throw deep anymore. So I think Jonathan Taylor is that mid-round pick that I have my eyes on.
Okay. My guy is DJ Chark. I think that right now, him being in the fifth round is actually somebody I target. I've traded down my second or third round pick down to fourth or fifth round. So I would give up like a DJ Moore, get a first round, and get DJ Chark. Because I believe that next year he'll be a solid play. He'll be at least a third round caliber player. He's got all the situation to be a great, wide receiver too. What do you think?
I think that's a tremendous pick. I like him a lot. I can't believe how dominant he was in the season. The only reason why I think he's not going higher than pick 46 is because people forgot about him when he got injured. So I think he's really overlooked. Also, I contrary to other people, I really like Gardner Minshew. I thought he had a great year. If you look at his stats, they're superior than even Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones last year, who were both picked before him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Gardner Minshew is great is because he was good his rookie year, but he was good throughout college too. He was the highest passing yards in college. So I don't understand why, if he was good in college and he had a good first year, why can't he have a good second year? No, and so if he's having a good second year, why can't he have a good year throwing to DJ Chark, who was phenomenal? So
Yeah.
you like that? I like his pick. I think he's quite easily a top 12 wide receiver who's leaking into the fifth round, which I don't know. I just people are forgetting about him, or they don't like the Jags. Something. There must be some sort of um, prejudice against the Jags.
Yeah. Or Minshew too. So you're probably right on Minshew. So I do like Minshew as well. He's a good player to pick up, just a sneak, just to sock away, in your deep bench. That could potentially be a good player just to have as your third quarterback. So the next segment is who is in your 8th to 10th round that could potentially be in your top third, 3, 4, 5 round. Who can really be a difference maker that you can pick up late? Who is that guy that you're targeting?
Uh, One second here.
Okay, I'll go first then. Let me go first.
Sure.
Well, the reason why I didn't want to go first is I didn't want to take your guy.
Okay.
So
Okay. I'll go. I actually
all right.
I have a guy that I like. I know you won't have him though because you don't like him. I like Zach Moss. He's I'm not picking him anywhere there near the 8th round, but I have him at pick one. I mean, in Fantasy Pros, he's at pick 132, so that puts him at the 11th round. I like him a lot because he has the same similar build to. He has the same similar build to Carlos Hyde. He's also is superior to the starter, quote unquote starter, in Devin Singletary, in that he's faster and bigger, and he could catch. Um, he has more catches in college, so if he could catch better, he's bigger and he's faster. And the person before him, Frank Gore started at Buffalo the year before. He's like an ancient statue there. He did fairly decent for the caliber player he is. I just don't see how Zach Moss cannot flourish in the 11th round or 12th round. He is a pure value, and he's a guy who could be your third running back, if not that, your flex.
Okay. No comment. My guy is Preston Williams. I like to pick him up in a situation where I have enough wide receivers, 3 wide receivers already that I can play without having to play him. That's why in 8th round, you're able to leave him on the bench for 3, 4, 5 weeks. I think he'll get healthy. Once he gets healthy, the second half of the season or so, he's going to be your number 1 wide receiver. He's going to outshine Devontae Parker, and he'll be potentially top 12 wide receivers, going forward. That's my guy.
What pick is he going?
He's in the 8th, 10th round, a little later around there. The earliest is 8th round, so you get him in 8th, 9th, 10th round.
Okay. Going off your DJ Chark, one guy who I like who's going a round later, or more than a round later than him. I just want to say I like Tyler Boyd. He didn't really fit in any of the categories you mentioned, but I like him because of the style player he is. He's a guy who is a slot receiver, he's sure-handed, and will most likely get a lot of targets. And I really like his quarterback, Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Joe Burrow plays that style of short passes, possession receiver, and I think he created or built Justin Jefferson from the ground up, who was not highly touted before he went to LSU. I think Joe Burrow built Justin Jefferson. I believe that Tyler Boyd has made a name for himself by himself, and I think Joe Burrow will make him even better than he is. So I have to say that's a category that didn't really fit in yours.
Yeah. The way you're describing Joe Burrow, you wonder why you didn't draft him, right, in your rookie draft.
Well, I had Joe Burrow at like 17, 18 on my board, but I had Mims at 10.
Mm-hmm.
So
you went with value play.
So I went to value play, and I don't like the Bengals as an organization, and so I thought, well, maybe I should just wait till next year to get a quarterback. The Clemson quarterback is who I have my eye on.
Yeah, I'm trying tanking in my superflex in order to try to get him.
And also, I don't know how good Tannehill or Gardner Minshew, who's both on my team, will do.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up Teddy Bridgewater in the fourth round with the fourth round rookie pick. So I feel like if I juggle those three quarterbacks, they might have a good year than one Joe Burrow.
All right. So last parts of this segment is who's your dumpster dive? Somebody in the 20th round or so or later. Who are you? Well, 18 to 20th round. Let's just say that. Who are you willing to take at that stage of the game?
18th or 20. Can you tell me the pick again? The number pick that you're thinking of?
I don't know. 180 times 12. Under 240, around 220 or so. 200 or below. How about that?
All right. Actually, I need more time on looking at.
All right, I'll go with mine. I'm taking a chance on. I'm taking a chance at EQ.
Equanimeous St. Brown.
Yeah, I'm taking a chance on him. He's my deep pick. Yeah, because even though Lazard has the buzz, although I like Lazard and I followed him and I have him in a lot of leagues, we haven't seen enough of him to really be sure. So let's say he becomes shaky, who's going to be the next man up, right? And EQ is the next man up. You know, maybe MVS, but EQ gets to have a chance. So he's got the body size of the Devin Funchess type of player that that Green Bay is needing, that touchdown guy. So he can potentially be their touchdown hog.
Have you seen you do anything in any of the seasons that would think that he could flourish?
No, he was injured most of the season, so he really hasn't had a chance to play.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on, let me go back. Well, okay, one guy this is a guy who a lot of people have overlooked, and he's probably seen as a bust already, even though it's his only third year. But the games that he played, he did very well. He did running back 2 numbers consistently when he actually got a opportunity. Is Rashad Penny. I think people have forgotten about him because the Seahawks have put him on the PUP list, so he probably won't be able to play in the first half of the season. He probably won't be able to play till the 9th week, but he probably won't be at full strength till like the 10th or 11th week. So you're gonna have to hold on to him for a very long time. But the games that he did do well, that he did play, and he did well last year, and I think he could continue that streak onto this year. And right now he is going at pick 217.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, that's almost free for a guy who can easily be a running back too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel about?
Yeah, I mean, for that deep of a pick, I try to pick up Penny as well. So usually I'm able to get all those players that I mentioned. People don't pick up Rashad at all. So if I pick him in the 18th round or so, he should still be there.
Now, if you want to go super last pick of the draft type player, the player that I have, I didn't realize how low he was. I just check marked him. I just kept scrolling up and down the page. He's picked 295. He's a wide receiver for the Raiders, who is overlooked by the number wide receiver picked off the board this year. It's Bryan Edwards. I'm not sure that Bryan Edwards. I mean, I'm wondering if Bryan Edwards is the best receiver on the Raiders.
Yeah, that's good value.
So I would pick him up at the very last pick of the draft. I'd pick a defense before him. I'd pick a kicker before him, and then pick him up at the last pick. And then see if he is targeted, because he did very well in college. The reason why he dropped so dramatically in the draft was because there were so many wide receivers, number one. But number two, he got a broken foot.
Mm-hmm.
And because he broke his foot, then he couldn't participate in the combine. But people expected him to be a very high pick.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's totally forgotten. And I think with the last pick of the draft, you keep him for 2 weeks on your roster and see how he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So let's go into your segment, which is, what is it called again? League playoff winners? How did you phrase it?
Oh yeah, playoff. The player that will take you through the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah. Can I use the same player as one of my other picks?
Well, you could use that player, but if you do, you have to still name another player.
Okay. All right, you go first, and I need to think about it.
Well, go. Well, talk about your first player.
No, well, it's the same one, and you go, and I'll try to come up with another one while you're talking. I really think my Preston Williams pick, he's going to get healthy. He's going to be a monster when Tua comes back. Tua's going to play the second half of the season as well, and they play with nothing to lose, and I think they're just going to bomb out.
You know, that's funny that you say that, because I was going to say Tua is my pick.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, everyone says, oh, he needs to sit. He needs to get healthy. I'm not sure that they could hold off playing Tua, being that he seems he was elite in college. Why can't he be elite now? He seems to have good receivers. I think they'll just be itching to put him in their lineup. So I would not necessarily keep Tua on the roster until maybe the 5th week. But if you have space, yeah, put him on the roster now.
Yeah, that's what I did. I picked him up late in one league as my second quarterback after Mahomes.
But my favorite running back to take me to the playoffs is J.K. Dobbins.
Mm-hmm.
J.K. Dobbins, I mean, he was touted so much as being one of the most athletic players coming out of high school. He did really well in Ohio State. And then the combine, he didn't compete. And because of COVID, he didn't have a pro day, so no one had numbers on him. And even though he didn't really fall in draft too much, he fell in the hearts and minds of the fantasy community. Mainly because they think he's going to be the backup for the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see how he can be. He's the elite talent there. He's the best running back on the team. Who cares about Gus Edwards and the other running backs? He's going to swallow all of their carries. And Ingram, I think he'll eventually surpass Ingram, especially because the Baltimore Ravens have a chance to dominate the NFL in such a way where they don't need to play their starters in the last 2 weeks of the season. And
Yeah.
and then the fantasy Super Bowl, I think you could start J.K. Dobbins with confidence, and
Yeah.
I think
By the way, playoff starts on week 14 now.
14.
Week 13 has buys, so 14, 15, 16. So that's going to make a difference in your lineup. Yeah. All right, Jonah, ready for rapid fire?
Yeah.
Okay, so Jonah's going to toss out 2 players, Marshall, and you pick the one you want. Let's see what we agree or disagree on. Let's go real quick.
Zeke and Alvin Kamara.
Zeke. Just say it, Zeke.
I don't like their Cowboys offense. I don't trust their coach. I feel like they're going to be just smashing Zeke up the line, and I don't like that at all.
Just pick the player. We're not justifying at this point.
Yeah. Kamara.
Okay.
Next one?
Yeah.
CEH or Dalvin Cook?
CH. Next.
Mixon or Miles Sanders?
Mixon.
Oof. I'll go Miles Sanders.
Juju or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
Man. I can go either way. I'll go Juju.
Okay. Mahomes or Lamar Jackson?
Mahomes.
Aaron Jones or Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs.
I'll go Aaron Jones.
Wow.
Allen Robinson or Amari Cooper?
Cooper.
Sorry.
Kenyon Drake or Austin Eckler?
Drake.
That's a good one. Man. I'll go Eckler.
Calvin Ridley or AJ Brown?
AJ Brown.
Oh man. I'll go Ridley.
Wow. Are you just doing this to go opposite me?
No, I have my reasons. We can argue it next time.
Leonard Fournette or Chris Carson?
Leonard Fournette.
Melvin Gordon or Le'Veon Bell?
Le'Veon Bell.
Deshaun Watson or Kyler Murray?
Murray.
Deshaun Watson.
DJ Chark or Keenan Allen?
DJ Chark.
Okay, we'll go Chark.
Cam Akers or DeAndre Swift?
Swift.
Oh, DeAndre Swift.
Brandon Cooks or Michael Gallup?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm going Cooks.
Really?
Yeah.
Marshall?
Oh, I said Gallup.
Okay. Sutton or Diggs?
Sutton.
Diggs.
Terry or Jarvis?
Landry or
Jarvis Landry or Terry McLaurin?
Okay, if I'm going
McLaurin,
I'm going McLaurin. But if I'm going safety, I'm going Jarvis. But I like upside, so I'll pick McLaurin.
Zach Ertz or Mark Andrews?
Andrews. Easy.
Oh yeah, Andrews is the top tier.
Carson Wentz or Matt Ryan?
Ryan.
Deontay Johnson or Christian Kirk?
Deontay.
Yeah, I'll go with Deontay.
All right, that's it.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Great segment. Let's follow up on some of these questions in our next segment in a few days. Write in your questions so we can have that on the air for the next episode. Thanks, guys. Jonah, we're out. We're good.
Cool.
Right. Yeah.
See ya.